All right. So, the Penguin episode 4 was mostly explaining the mystery. Why Sophia ended up in Arkham, and more importantly, who killed those women. And it turns out the answer is Carmine. He killed those women, including Sophia's mother, which I would love to know why. I mean, what did she know? What did she figure out that threatened Carmine? Because they were married, they had 2 kids. What happened that caused him to kill her? Was she threatening to leave him? Was she threatening to take the kids? What was she threatening to do that caused him to hang her? But regardless, now we know it was Carmine, and the reason Sophia was put into Arkham wasn't because she's crazy, though Arkham seems to have turned her into the very thing that people claim that she is, even though she's still not the Hangman. But now she's much more comfortable with killing. And now granted, she's only going after people who she feels wronged her, except for that one kid, which that was just bizarre. Because they're trying to show you that she isn't the cold-blooded killer people think she is, but then she had no problem killing that kid. Now, I realize that she was probably also doing it to see how Oz would react. But at the same time, yeah, Arkham has messed with her head. I mean, she was getting electroshock therapy like every day. Of course it's going to mess with you. There is a reason why you don't do that anymore. So she decides. Now, we also found out from Oz and Sophia's perspective what happened at the end of last episode when Victor came to the rescue. And that is Nadia Maloney told Sophia the truth. Oz was the one who killed Alberto, and that Oz was helping the Maronis, and he was basically begging for his life, and Sophia's looking at him like, what the fuck? I trusted you. And my question to her is, why did you trust him? I mean, he already ratted on you once, and I still feel uncomfortable with saying ratted because, yes, she spoke with the journalist, but she changed her mind. Of course, the way she spoke to Oz after the fact, I mean, it could lead you to believe that she said something to the reporter, so I can see why Oz would question what happened. But at the same time, she has a point. He should have asked her what happened. Because she was obviously rattled by what this woman was telling her. And who knows, maybe Carmine figured out that since she got this close, or Oz figured out that since she was willing to get that close to talking to the press, that she might end up spilling her guts and telling people what's really going on. So, on the one hand, they did her dirty. On the other hand, I also see why they did it. So, I still don't agree with what they did, but at least there's some logic to it. So, we see her, descent into hell. and Descent into Madness. I had flashbacks to when I was watching, what was it called? The Snake Pit. Yes, in high school psychology, they made us watch that. And I actually told nurses about that, and they're like, no, you don't do that. Because I and at least one other girl were slowly driving ourselves crazy just watching that movie. It was a well done movie, don't get me wrong, but ugh. So yeah, I was having Snake Pit flashbacks. Now, Magpie, I feel so bad for because it seems like she's very childlike and she honestly was wanting to become Sophia's friend, which she kept calling her Hangman. Why the hell, if she's a cold-blooded killer, why would you be so excited to make friends with her? Unless she somehow felt that, she was in there wrongfully, and so Sophia was in there wrongfully, and there was that connection. Because we don't know Magpie's backstory. And you know that they were all on Carmine's payroll. Well, except for Rush. Simply because that one inmate took the fork that Sophia was given because they wanted her to attack that girl for attacking her earlier, but she refused. She was going to, and then she's like, wait, you want me to do this? I'm not doing this. So Sophia's a very, very smart woman. Unfortunately for Carmine and the Falcone family, they turned her into what they claimed that she was. Now, like I said, she's probably not as out there as the Hangman, but, Arkham basically made her into someone more comfortable with killing. If for no other reason, like she said, she did what she had to do to survive. So Julian Rush, now, there seems like there's a relationship going on, at least on his part, that he wants to have a relationship with her, but Sophia is much more guarded. Or maybe she felt like he took advantage of her while in Arkham, and now she's, stepping back. And she even implied to him that she knows that, that she doesn't trust him, that there's something else going on. But at the same time, she took a step back and it's like, oh, we're the sane ones. Everybody else is crazy. So it's a very bizarre dynamic. But it's possible, like I said, that she's also toying with him because he took advantage of her in Arkham. So, she decides that she needs a new start. So you think, okay, what is she going to do? Now, I was thinking maybe she's going to join the Maronis. Now, since she basically killed off the entire family, I mean, who is she going to be running if she killed everybody? But, or maybe she was planning on going to Italy and running things from there. So, so I'm not sure how to feel about Julian. On the one hand, he seems genuinely wanting to help her. He even said in the flashback that what if she's innocent? He's the only one that we saw who seemed to even voice that it's possible. And basically he was told that you can't work at Arkham if you're going to do that. So basically, he's this doctor, and all the doctors after him are basically telling him, the only way you can work at Arkham is if you mindlessly let mob bosses put their innocent daughters in there to punish her for questioning what happened. Like, as smart as Sophia is, why did she point out to Carmine after he already was suspicious of her? Why mention that she saw scratches on his hand? And even though she seemed to smooth it over by saying it had to be from something else, right? Carmine is smart enough to know that Sophia is smart enough to know that she doesn't believe that. So, yeah, she didn't help herself there. So, but she's taken a liking to Carla Vitti's little girl. And I guess it's, before she even said how, she needs to be careful in this family. I don't know. I thought at first Carla was uneasy because she's supposed to be the hangman. But it turns out, no, it's because revenge is a bitch. And she saw that she was going to go after the family for what they did to her. So, but the only person she accepted was the little girl, because, the little girl, what does she have to do with anything? She didn't do anything wrong. So she takes the little girl outside so they could have an outside sleepover, which, whether what she said about her and Alberto were true or not, I don't know. Or maybe it's a story she said, because then we see her with a gas mask after she basically called out at the dinner. She called out all the family for throwing her under the bus, that nobody had the courage to stand by her side. And of course, now Oz is going to be public enemy. She wasn't always nice to Oz. She was snappy to him in the flashbacks, but she also understood that, one, he deserves better than being a driver, and number two, that he will get that simply because he has a dick. This show is very hammering home sexism. And Carmine wanted to give her the family. He wanted to break with tradition. So Carmine wasn't a sexist pig. He just didn't like that Sophia started asking questions. Basically, she was too smart for her own good. So she goes back into the house, tells the little kid to, go back to sleep, and looks, she's wearing a gas mask, and she's turning, you see her turning off the gas. At first I thought she was turning on the gas, but no, she was turning it off. And you're walking around seeing all these people dead. I'm unsure if I saw Luca. I think I might have, or we might have seen other people. We definitely saw Carla. Then she goes to now this must have been that she could, keep the gas contained to certain rooms, that it wasn't like it was going to be released in all the rooms, because she woke up Johnny, that is, and basically she's gonna make him help her with something. And So now the question is, what is she going to make him do? I mean, he already doesn't like Oz, so maybe she's going to sick him on Oz. That's a possibility. Because the two of them to take on the Maronis, not happening. So, but maybe, but if she was going to make nice with the Maronis, she wouldn't need Johnny either. So I'm unsure what she's going to do with him. But it's interesting that of all the people that she kept alive, it's him. I mean, I would think that she would. Well, Luca, I can see why she wouldn't. But, maybe Carla, maybe some other members of the family. But the fact that she kept him alive, it's going to be interesting. I mean, maybe she's doing this because she knows how much Oz hates him and figures, he's going to be cannon fodder. I don't know. But, yeah, basically, she was this sweet, innocent girl. I mean, she wasn't doing anything that, before she went to Arkham, that implied that she was at all violent. So, it's entirely possible that she never did a violent thing prior to Arkham. And so, basically, like I said at the beginning, Arkham created the thing that Carmine and the others claimed that she was. Again, maybe not to the extent, because it's obvious she still has some of her humanity. But at the same time, again, what happened at the beginning of this series when she killed a innocent kid. So maybe she's still of two minds. On the one hand, she wants to project this cold-blooded killer, badass hangman persona, but at the same time, she's not that. So, I don't know. I have no idea what's the deal with her. And my question now is, what's going to happen with Julian Rush? Because, like I said, I'm thinking he took advantage of her in Arkham, and she's aware of that. Even though at the same time she says that, everybody else is the problem, the two of us aren't. So I'm unsure whether she's just toying with him or whether there are some feelings on her part for him, even though they're guarded because, she allowed herself to ignore her gut with Oz and he screwed her over again. Or if she truly isn't seeing any danger in him. I think she does. I think she's wary of men in general because, well, basically every man she's been close to, except for Alberto, has screwed her over. So, and now she knows that Oz is the one who killed Alberto. So, of course, she's going to go after Oz. Probably the fact that Nadia gave her this information, she might actually be might want to put a stop to the gang war, because she found out that the reason for the gang war was illegitimate. So there's so many possibilities of what could happen. She and Nadia Maroni could end up joining forces. Again, what she needs Johnny for, not a clue. We will hopefully find out next episode. So yeah, I felt horrible for Sophia. Because now that we know, and I did say in last episode, We don't even know if she did anything. The fact that, so now we understand how Oz ratted her out. It's the fact that she met with that reporter, who Carmine subsequently killed and pinned it on Sophia. So that was the bad thing she did, was going to the press. And it was weird. She went to the press to find what they had on this case, but then thought about her mom and saw how similar the cases were, but at the same time, shut her down. So I guess she knew the trouble that it would cause her if she did what the journalist wanted, or she was too scared to do it, or I don't know. But so now I understand she did do something wrong. She was ratted out by Oz. It just wasn't as bad as killing anyone. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to mention in this episode. I think I pretty much covered everything. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.